On January 30 and 31st of 2025, the Massachusetts Export Center held its 15th annual Export Expo. The Export Expo is the state's largest and most important export event of the year, bringing together resources, training, and information for the local exporting community. The 15th annual Export Expo was presented as a virtual event, attracting over 800 attendees. The Export Expo included a virtual exhibit area featuring government, nonprofit, and private sector service providers serving the export community. The Export Expo also featured influential guest speakers, workshops, and panel discussions on a variety of export-related topics. The 15th annual Export Expo was opened by Kevin J. Wolf, former Assistant Secretary of Commerce for Export Administration under the Obama administration. Mr. Wolf provided an update on major export control developments and trends over the last year, with special emphasis on tightening controls on China and Russia and expanded controls on the advanced computing and semiconductor sectors. He also discussed U.S. regulatory policy and the evolution of national security objectives. The second day of the Export Expo featured opening speaker Richard Ashew, former Assistant Secretary of Commerce for Export Administration under the Trump administration. Mr. Ashew discussed the outlook for export control and economic sanctions policy amid the backdrop of our geopolitical landscape and presidential transition. The Export Expo featured 15 workshops and lively panel discussions on current and imminent developments in our international trade environment, including the impact of the presidential election, geopolitical landscape, policy, regulation, and enforcement on global trade operations. Critical issues such as export control and economic sanctions policy, potential implementation of widespread tariffs, escalating regulatory enforcement, and more were addressed, with a focus on helping companies remain nimble while navigating and responding to a dynamic and increasingly complex global trade environment. Each workshop was recorded and can still be viewed at the Massachusetts Export Center's webinar archive. The Expo concluded with a panel on the outlook for global trade policy under the new Trump administration, featuring, among other expert speakers, Clay Lowery, former Assistant Secretary of the Treasury for International Affairs, and William Reinsch, former Undersecretary of Commerce for Export Administration. The Export Expo in its virtual format provided numerous opportunities for attendees, speakers, and sponsors to connect, access conference materials, make new contacts, and share information. Next year's conference will once again be a virtual event. We hope that you will join us on Thursday and Friday, February 26th and 27th of 2026 for the 16th annual Export Expo.